Thank you very much. Thank you, Chrissy. Thank you, everyone, for attending. Yeah, we've already got a world-class resource, so we know we've got something that can be very significant. How are we going to monetize it? We just had breaking news today. You may have not seen the announcement. We've appointed Worley as our feasibility technical advisor. So they'll help us go through the feasibility studies to bring this into development. So we're moving towards that now. Let me tell you more details. A quick company overview. It's been a big transformational year, 2025 to 2026. We did a $20 million capital raise back in February 2025 to buy this asset. We're only about a $25 million market cap. In October, November, we were much higher. Did a $72.5 million capital raise with institutions. We have become now institutional investment grade. The icing on the cake from that raise was Hancock Prospecting coming on board as our largest shareholder. They've got a great track record in the rare earth space, biggest shareholder in MP Materials over in the US, big shareholder in Lynas, big shareholder in Arafura, some of the most successful rare earths plays. So great to see them thinking that we've got that potential as well. We've got a lot of money in the bank now to help take us forward. We've got coverage from major investment firms, research by Macquarie, Canaccord, Petra, and a few others. So really positioned to take this forward. The reason why we're so successful in taking our market cap from 25 million to the circa 500 million today is the quality of our resource. So we announced an upgrade to our JORC resource in March this year. We now have 70.91 million tonnes at 4.06% TREO, total rare earth oxide. That's at a 2% cut-off grade, so quite high. And in the niobium space, we've got 95.47 million tonnes. This is a large carbonatite-hosted deposit, hard rock deposit, so don't confuse it with the ionic clays. They may have a lot more tonnes, but they're also extremely low grade. So we're high-grade, carbonatite-hosted, exactly the same style of deposit as Lynas's Mount Weld deposit in Western Australia and MP Materials deposit, Mountain Pass in California. They're the two biggest producers of rare earths outside of China, so it's great to be in company with them. One thing we'll be doing to this resource, hopefully over the coming months, is converting a lot of that inferred portion into measured indicated. So measured indicated is still quite big, it's about 30 million tonnes, but we aim to convert a lot of that inferred into that measured indicated as well, which will further underpin the robustness of our economic studies. So where do we fit in the global scheme of things? We're already the biggest hard rock deposit and highest grade in South America. This bubble chart shows you that we're in basically rarefied air right at the top there with the two big boys, MP Materials and Lynas's Mount Weld. So we've got the volume, we've got the scale, and we've got the grade. We think our scale is getting even bigger. We've only drilled out about 30% of our tenement area. We're not going to drill forever because we've really got enough of a resource already, probably for a 40-year plus mine life. So we're really now dovetailing straight into the economic studies. Just a comparison in that table of where we potentially can sit in terms of global position, in terms of value. You can see Lynas and Lynas and Mountain Pass, they're in production and they're up at about $20 billion market cap. Arafura, also a hard rock deposit here in Australia. They're in development studies and getting their funding ready. They've climbed to about a $1.7 billion market cap. We're still down at $470, $500 million. Our resource arguably is as good as theirs or even better. You can just compare those numbers there in terms of the grade, in terms of the NdPr grade, in terms of the contained NdPr. We're either bigger or very comparable to those guys. So there's no reason, I believe, as we continue to deliver development studies, all the milestones to go towards production, that we should not start catching up with these other companies' valuation. I'll let you reach your own conclusions of what that valuation could be, but I certainly think we're a 10-bagger from where we are today. And that's very reasonable, I think, given where Lynas and Mountain Pass are sitting today. If we can also get into production over the next 3 to 4 years, there's no reason why we could not get a very, very big re-rating. One of the reasons for the popularity of our stock is our favourable location. So we're in Brazil, Minas Gerais, very favourable state, and we're in the Barreira carbonatite, which has seen a lot of mining over the years. So we've got CBMM over in the eastern side. They are the world's biggest niobium producer. And we've got Mosaic with a big phosphate operation on the western side. So they've been operating there for 40 plus years. That means two important things. One, the environmental impact there is very well known, very well accepted by the community and the state. So that should help us get fairly smoothly through the environmental process. And it means the infrastructure is already there. Roads, railways, low-cost hydroelectricity power, we can all access that. We don't have to spend billions of dollars putting our own capex into place. So that gives us an opportunity to fast-track this into production. The government is very helpful. We've signed an MOU with the government, the state government, to expedite permitting approvals, and they've given us a state tax exemption for goods that we bring in to develop the project, up to 18% tax exemption. So a very favourable location. We're about 5 or 6 kilometres from Araxá city itself. They live off the mining business. They're very keen to see our project in production. They want more jobs and prosperity for the region. You can see on the eastern side there a bit of a schematic diagram. I'm too scared to press this button in case I do something wrong. But you can see on the eastern side there a bit of a schematic of our project land. So earlier this quarter, last quarter, we bought 166 hectares. That's where we're going to build the project facilities, the processing plant. One alternative is to possibly also access one of the existing plants in the region. So niobium is a simple flotation process. Any flotation plant can also process niobium. Phosphate is a simple flotation process. There are other phosphate plants in the region. So having a chat to a couple of those. One of them just happens to be right next door to us at Mosaic. Mosaic has put their operation on care and maintenance and announced that they want to divest that project. So there's no phosphate left there, so it's not interesting from a phosphate potential, but that processing plant could be very interesting to us. So watch this space there. We also have very favourable deposit characteristics. So you might see some very impressive numbers in deposits, but you have to have a look at how they can be monetised. One of our advantages is our mineralisation starts from surface. So literally from surface we have high-grade mineralisation, and it continues fairly consistently down past 150 metres. Our deepest intercept was 178 metres, which is quoted up there, 4.34% TREO and 0.75% niobium oxide. Fantastic economic grades, and the whole intercept is mineralised. The model for the mineral resource estimate at the moment is modelled down to about 100, 120 metres. So it's really quite shallow still. We know the mineralisation can continue down to 800 metres because our next door neighbours have drilled down there and are still finding that kind of grade. We don't need to drill that far. As I mentioned, we've got 40-year mine life, I think, already. So it's just out of curiosity value that we might do a couple of deeper holes. Only 30% of the prospective area, as also I mentioned, is drilled out. So lots of easy expansion potential from surface for this resource. We're drilling still today, 24/7. Most of that now is infill drilling. There are still some expansion holes, and we announced some of that yesterday. So we are still seeing that the system is open to the north, east, west, and at depth. So there certainly is more potential to increase the resource, and we'll be doing that over the years. We've also started to form some downstream initiatives, so partners can see this is a very high-grade resource, can produce very good feedstock for them, and also the fast track to production is quite interesting for them. One point that I want to emphasise is that we've already produced a rare earth product from our mineralisation. So the previous owner ran a 9-month pilot plant study. They produced a rare earth oxalate with 99% purity, 86% recoveries, 20% NdPr and some heavies in there as well. So we know we can produce a rare earth product from our mineralisation. We're extremely confident we can produce a niobium product because we have the same rocks as the next door neighbour that's been doing this for 50 years. We've got MET work currently underway. Hopefully the first lot of MET results will be announced in the next few weeks, so that will give everyone a bit more confidence that we can actually produce a commercial product. We're part of the MagBras project, which is Brazil's initiative to establish magnet-making facilities in Brazil. We were the first company to supply rare earths to them for that test work. So we definitely want to be delivering into the Brazilian supply chain. We have a deal with nanotechnology. They're experts in cerium products. Cerium is one of our highest components in our rare earths. So we know how to separate the cerium and the lanthanum, which are two very big components, from our rare earths. We want to give them to Nanum, and they can commercialize those. And then we can produce a very high NdPr grade and high heavy rare earth MREC product. We have a strategic alliance with RIU in the US. They already are making magnet materials for US defense and other US agencies, but they've only got a deposits about 3 million tonnes. So they're very keen to partner with someone like us with a big resource that can provide them with the feedstock to scale up their business. We're also into Europe. We've done an arrangement with Técnicas Reunidas, a leading engineering firm based in Spain. They are the leader of the Permanent project, which is Europeans' initiative to make magnet-making facilities in Europe. So potentially we can also join the European supply chain. And on the niobium front, we've joined up with Boston Metal, headed by the former CEO of CBMM. He was there for 30 years, including 10 years as CEO. They've got a new modern technology, zero carbon potentially, to make niobium. So we're trialling some work with them as well. And on the niobium front, we love it because it's got supply concentration. So there's only 3 producers in the whole world. There's CBMM next door to us, which does about 80% of the world's supply. China Moly, CMOC, also in Brazil, does about 10%. And then Niobec in Canada, about 9%. So it's virtually a monopoly operation, means the pricing is very stable, and there's room for us to come in and enjoy that. It's unfortunately a weapon metal, niobium, used to strengthen steel, but also used in a lot of the weapons in the Konov missiles, strengthening tanks, all that kind of stuff. So it's in great demand at the moment, unfortunately. Our project delivery team, you've probably seen this slide before, so I won't go into details. But we have several engineers that used to work at CBMM, plant engineers, mineral process engineers, and the guy that used to run the whole operation at CBMM. So we have the expertise to build this mine, build this project, and also to operate it. So just a quick summary of anticipated news flow. Our permitting process has begun. The first box that we need to tick is our environmental license. All the environmental studies have been done, no red flags, and that process has commenced. So hopefully we have news on that by the end of this year. We then go for our preliminary license and then our operating license. So hopefully that'll also be delivered during the course of next year. Drilling program is continuing. There'll be a little bit more drilling to be done and a further increase in the mineral resource estimate. So good news on that front. We're building a pilot plant. We used the old pilot plant from the previous owner and upgrading that. We're putting into the local university, the Cephet University, the biggest technical university in Minas Gerais. We're winning a lot of brownie points for being able to put that pilot plant into one of the educational institutions. We'll be using it, of course, for our own purposes, but also making it available for the university trials. That should be up and running by the end of the year, so that'll be very interesting as we make sample products. We're continuing discussions with additional strategic partners. I can't say any more on that front, but I am going to Washington in 10 days, so stay tuned. There might be news coming out of that. And again, our development studies have started. We've appointed today Worley as our technical advisor for those studies. So Worley is arguably the biggest and the best in the business, homegrown here in Australia, but they have been in Brazil through one form or another for the past 60 years. So very strong presence in Brazil, and they'll be helping us enormously to accelerate our development studies. That's the presentation. Thank you very much.